Good afternoon. I'm Ansley Weaver, and this is the Nightly News. We begin our show with some bills that you need to know about. The SAVE Act bill is now in the hands of the Senate. Last week, the Republican-led House of Representatives passed President Donald Trump's SAVE Act, which would require people to show proof of citizenship to register and vote in federal elections. Here's what that means. People who have changed their names have to show their birth certificate and any notarized paperwork that proves they are who they say they are. This would be things like a marriage certificate, birth certificate, the official change of name, social security card, and their passport. As the bill moves to the Senate, Democrats have enacted a filibuster requiring 60 people to vote in favor of the bill for it to pass. South Carolina lawmakers have also introduced House Bill 4674, a proposal that would require all law enforcement agencies with correctional facilities to cooperate with federal immigration authorities. I am Ansley Weaver, and I've been digging into House Bill 4674. It lays out new requirements for how local law enforcement agencies would work with ICE. For many Furman students, that raises real questions about safety and belonging.
It's kind of a scary idea. It just brings the kind of chill of ICE terror closer to home.
That fear is part of why some students want their peers to better understand what this bill actually does. And knowing that is key to understanding the impact it will have.
I think I would want a lot of students to just get educated on what this bill is, on what a 287G agreement is. There are a couple different kinds, what those are, and also the way that we feel safe and protected here. And I don't want to freak anyone out, but that's not always a reality. And without concrete answers and protection from our administration, it's hard to say what would happen and what will happen.
The key takeaways from this bill is the mandatory agreements any operating jails must sign, a 287 participation agreement, SLED training and immunity, and the penalties agencies may face if they fail to comply.
As lawmakers debate the bill, students say they are hoping for clarity and protection from campus leadership, while the Furman University Police Department has yet to make a statement. And it's important to note that the Greenville County Police Department is already in cooperation with ICE. Reporting for the Nightly News at Furman University, I'm Ansley Weaver. Back to you. Another thing to be aware of is that the official contracts outlined in the bill would mean that local agencies would be compensated for their work with DHS. We will continue to follow Bill 4674. While South Carolina lawmakers have not scheduled a public hearing yet, we'll update you as soon as that information becomes available. South Carolina and the country mourned today as Reverend Jesse Jackson passed away on Tuesday after a long battle with progressive supranuclear palsy, which he was diagnosed with in 2025. The 84-year-old was a prominent civil rights activist and Presidential Medal of the Freedom recipient, as well as a Greenville native who attended the same high school as Furman's own Joseph Vaughn. People in Pawtucket, Rhode Island are heartbroken after a gunman shot 5 people, killing 2. At a hockey game. The shooter has been identified as Robert Dorgan, who also went by Roberta Esposito. The victims who were murdered were identified as Dorgan's ex-wife Rhonda Dorgan and their son Aiden Dorgan. The other 3 wounded were relatives. Dorgan died at the scene due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Our thoughts are with the victims and their loved ones. New updates in the Nancy Guthrie case, as the gloves believed to have been worn by the suspect did not match the DNA found at the scene. Investigators have identified the backpack the suspect was wearing as a black Ozark Trail hiker bag that is exclusively sold at Walmart, and believe that this is their most promising lead yet. Investigators are hoping to find the backpack's serial number to search for the suspect by going through Walmart's purchase records. The FBI has also issued a $100,000 reward for anyone who has information that leads to an arrest. 3 fraternities at South Carolina universities were recently reprimanded for hazing incidents that occurred last fall. Delta Chi at Clemson University, Pi Kappa Phi at Coastal Carolina University, and Sigma Chi at University of South Carolina were all placed on probation and required to provide a general description of hazing incidents. Only Delta Chi at Clemson disclosed information saying they had made pledges work as designated drivers, personal servants, and partake in mild calisthenics. There have been 140 reported hazing offenses in South Carolina since 2011, but officials say they are likely undercounted. A new federal Stop Campus Hazing Act signed in 2024 expands across the state to help manage current hazing issues. Last week on campus, Furman hosted their bicentennial celebration to honor the university's 200 years. Our reporter Jada Hunt takes us through the events in the kickoff celebration.
Today marks 200 years since Furman University first opened its campus doors. With multiple events across the university, I'll walk you through the bicentennial experience today.
Furman is so different, but it's still the home that I remember having because Furman is the people. So I think we have grown because we have opened our arms to everyone, and it really feels great to have that, but we've really doubled down and held on to our legacy and our roots.
The day of celebration began with the convocation, where speakers looked back, but also forward.
So happy birthday, Furman! Thank you for seeing potential while others saw limitation. Thank you for opening doors and raising expectation. And thank you for helping this old country boy find his voice, his vision, and his vocation. May the next 200 years be even bolder, broader, brighter, and browner.
Dr. Tollinson is a Furman alumni and history professor who was commissioned to write a book chronicling the university's 200-year history and what the future of Furman could look like.
Bicentennial provides a moment, and this was touched on extensively yesterday, not only to look back at 200 years and not only to look at where we are now, but to really have thoughtful and reflective conversations and to think big and to think boldly. One aspect that I loved about writing this book was learning about people who were so dedicated to this special place and so dedicated to students and so dedicated to each other, and learning about how Furman it wasn't central to their lives, it really was the foundation of their lives for decades and decades on end. And even yesterday, I talked with a woman and her daughter. 6 generations of their family have attended Furman. I mean, that says something about this place, that people keep coming back.
We also dug up a time capsule that was buried in 1993. You can see the display in Duke Library of what students back then wanted to share with us today. This is Jada Hunt reporting for Nightly News. Back to you.
Furman will be hosting other bicentennial events, including a special homecoming next fall. We'll keep you posted on when those come up. Furman's colors may be purple and white, but in only a matter of months, the dominant color on campus will be a vibrant green. It may still be frigid outside, but believe it or not, the springtime season is closer than you think. And with the arrival of warmer weather, expect to see some serious flourishing of Furman's foliage. For over a decade, Furman Facilities has embarked upon an ambitious undertaking, rejuvenating and replacing the university's aging trees. And with many of these older trees having exceeded their estimated lifespan, facility is working hard to remove, replace, and keep the public safe.
Our foot traffic on campus has really picked up. Outdoor events have really picked up. And the shape and the condition of the trees that we had, which were nearing the end of their life, it was dangerous. And we had some events happen in Greenville where people were killed from limbs falling out of trees as large as ours. And we just wanted to get ahead of that.
As Furman celebrates its bicentennial, it also celebrates the beginning of a new chapter in its long and storied tree history. So if you're on campus this spring, make sure to glance up and admire the new canopy taking shape above you. If you've been on Pleasantburg Drive recently, you may have noticed a new construction fence around the old Bi-Lo store. We have found that is because Food Lion is set to replace it in the Field Plaza Shopping Center. They are hoping it increases business to the shopping center as a whole and will also help eliminate the food desert that was created in that area when Bi-Lo closed a few years ago. The biannual pop-up consignment sale is giving Greenville shoppers a chance to refresh their closets without hurting their wallets or the environment. Statement was in town this weekend offering hundreds of gently used clothing items at discounted prices. We sent our reporter Sarah Beth Harbin to check it out.
I'm Sarah Beth Harbin reporting here at the Annex in Judson Mill in Greenville, where racks are filled wall to wall. Statement is a pop-up consignment sale that brings together sellers and shoppers for a weekend of secondhand fashion, all with sustainability in mind. Shoppers can find brands that range from Anthropologie to Lululemon to Farm Rio. It's a one-stop shop for fashion lovers who want quality pieces without paying full price. Owner Suzanne says that's what makes Statement unique.
Oh my gosh, so I think what makes Statement stand out a little more than a traditional thrift store is it is higher end. You're not gonna have to really dig for those treasures where, oh, you might find one free people if you're there 30 minutes digging. You're gonna find so many good brands here, and everything is going to be a little higher quality. So this is not stuff people are willing to just give away for free. This is stuff that they've maybe truly just worn one or two times. It's still in season, or on trend, it's in season. Shoppers and sellers alike say the Statement is about more than just fashion. It's about making conscious decisions and reducing waste.
I think it's important to give clothes a new life and also to not be buying stuff for every occasion. I think we live in a very consumerism mindseted community, and that it's important to not just be wasteful with our things, especially because we should be grateful to have them.
While the chance to shop this weekend has passed, Statement will be back in August, just in time for back-to-school shopping. I'm Sarah Beth Harbin in Greenville, reporting for the Nightly News. Back to you.
Statement also partners with local charities to donate unsold items, helping reduce clothing waste even further. You can find more information about shopping times and future events on their website. New data from South Carolina's latest traffic collision report paints a troubling picture for drivers here in Greenville County, leading the state in total traffic collisions with more than 16,600 crashes. Greenville also ranks #1 in fatal collisions and second in injury collisions statewide. This data highlights a growing concern about unsafe driving behaviors across the county. So the next time you're on the road, remember to slow down, stay alert, and make safety your priority. Plans for expansion to the Swamp Rabbit Trail have been scrapped after the community spoke against it. Members of North Main Greenville community spoke against the expansion of the Swamp Rabbit Trail, which led to city officials scrapping the highly touted project. The expansion would have connected over 5,000 people to places like Otherland's Brewery and Community Tap. City Council member John DeWorkin said the positives are incredible, according to the Post and Courier. However, the community has spoken. Turning to arts and entertainment now, if you are looking for some things to do this weekend, we have some ideas for you. Live music venue Smiley's on the Rocks is having local performers on Friday, February 20th from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. While you're downtown, Gather Greenville is celebrating its 6-year birthday on Saturday. Known for its variety of vendors and great community setting, Gather Greenville is a nice spot to spend some time with friends and enjoy the outdoors after getting some food. Spend the evening at Coffee Underground laughing your heart out at the Alchemy Comedy Theater performances that run every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. Remember Pokemon? Well, it turns out the cards you collected as a kid can be very valuable today. Harrison Baer shares how a certain student has kept his passion for Pokemon alive and just might be able to make some extra cash in the process.
I'm Harrison Baer, reporting on an all-time classic franchise we all know, Pokemon, the highest-grossing media franchise ever. What began as a video game in 1996 soon produced the collectible card game we know today. These may look like simple trading cards, but for millions of fans around the world, Pokemon represent nostalgia, a competition between each other, and an investment. Decades after their debut, their popularity shows no signs of slowing down. Here at Furman University, there are many fans of the trading card game, but none bigger than Bruce Lanier, the man who is doing everything he can to catch them all.
I really started collecting Pokemon cards when I was really young. I don't know when it really started. I mean, I would get gifts and Pokemon cards from my parents, and then at school we would take the cards and trade them. I got a little lost in the art for a while and kind of gave up on it, but recently, as it's been re-emerging, I revisited my old collection. So I'd have to say my favorite card in my collection has to be this OG original Gyarados. I mean, I've had this card for a long time. I had it when I was a kid. I think I pulled it when I was around about 6 or 7, and I mean, it doesn't have that much value just because of the condition that it's in, but a card like this from when we were that young, when we were kids, are now going for around $20,000.
Pokemon continues to dominate pop culture, with the mobile game Pokemon Go and famous YouTubers still collecting cards. Collectors say that the future of the card game looks strong as ever. Reporting from Furman, I'm Harrison Bear.
Did he say 20,000? Wow, that's one game that could really pay off. Speaking of game, Dens were in action on the courts and on the fields this weekend, but did they have a big payday in the form of racking up those W's? Alex Black has the answer to that in sports.
Thanks, Ansley. Furman Athletics had a roller coaster of a week. This past Saturday, Furman softball took on the Lipscomb Bisons in the Purple and White Classic, trying to pick up their second win of the season. The game began with the Bisons up to bat. Lipscomb came out strong, controlling the top of the inning with 7 runs, while Furman struggled to get any momentum. And with some issues at the plate and some poor catching from the Dens, the Bisons were able to secure runs on almost every hit. The Paladins would get their first run in the bottom of the second. However, they could not keep up with the Bison's speed and confidence on the bases, as they would secure another 7 runs. The officials would call the game at the bottom of the 5th with a final score of 14-4 Bisons. This would be the Dens' 4th mercy rule of the season with a 1-7 record. On Sunday, women's tennis took on the Memphis Tigers in both doubles and singles. With a record of 3-3, the Dens were looking to secure a win against the 0-6 Tigers. The matchup began with 3 doubles. The Dens came out strong with junior Macy Hitchcock and freshman Molly Robinson taking the first match, with a strong final of 6-3. The Tigers would take the next 2 doubles, securing a leading point for their team. Moving on to singles, Furman's Bianca Cerrone would pick up a swift win in 2 sets, 6-0 and 6-4, setting the score to 1-all. Both teams would trade sets, with the Dens eventually catching a lead. With an unfinished game and the Tigers already trailing, the Dens would secure the win, dropping Memphis to 0-7, with the final score being 4-2 Dens. There were 2 tennis matches over the weekend in Conway, South Carolina. Men's tennis played matches against Coastal Carolina and William & Mary. The Dens took a tough loss to Coastal Carolina, only taking 1 singles match by Nico Snyder, leading to a final of 1-6. William & Mary was the second opponent, and this would be Furman's 2nd win of the season. The Dens took a point through doubles and 3 from singles, winning 4-2 over the Tribe. However, with 2 unfinished matches, it's hard to say where Furman's season will go. In their season opener, the women's lacrosse team traveled up to Clemson. They ended up losing 18-1 in a tough match. The Dens looked to bounce back Friday, facing Austin Peay at home. On Saturday, the men's basketball team took on VMI for an away game. The Paladins had one of their highest scoring games of the season, beating VMI 90-72. Asa Thomas had the game high, coming away with 25 points. Also on Saturday, the women's basketball team took on UNCG in Greensboro. They sneaked away with a win, the final score being a close 63-61. Claire Coyle scored 25 points to lead the Dens to a hard-fought victory. Furman cross country and track were in Boston this past weekend for the David Hemery Valentine Invitational. Along with several personal bests by athletes, senior Cameron Wennerston came to play. After a horrible bike crash last spring, there were concerns about her running. However, Cameron came out strong, achieving a personal best in the mile, winning her heat and placing 5th overall. Select members of the team, which may include Cameron, will be heading to the USC Invitational this coming Saturday in Columbia, South Carolina. There are 3 games to look out for this weekend at Furman. Furman Lacrosse is playing in Paladin Stadium this Friday against Austin Peay. This will be their second game of the season after their loss to Clemson last week. In basketball, the Lady Dins are facing the Mercer Bears here in Timmons Arena on Saturday for their second meeting of the season. Completing the doubleheader, men's basketball faces their rivals Wofford and Spartanburg, looking to take back the glory they lost earlier in the season. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that Wofford-Furman game.
Yeah, me as well. Me and my friends will definitely be heading down to Wofford to watch it.
Same with mine.
I'm Ansley Weaver.
And I'm Alex Black.
And thanks for tuning in to the Nightly News. We'll catch you next week.